No, you don't. You keep your score. That's 1 point. If you left no dirty dishes in the sink, you get a point. If you left dirty dishes in the sink, you don't get any points. Sorry. Anyway, you get 5 points if you read your Bible or a devotional book this morning before you came. You get 5 points if you prayed this morning before you came. And you get 5 points if you told someone that you love them. So this game, the maximum you could win is 17 points. So should I start over? I think people are listening. You get 1 point if you made your bed before you came. You get 1 point if you did not leave dirty dishes in the sink. You get 5 points if you read your Bible before you came or listened to a devotional. You know, I actually left early to go visit somebody at the hospital, so I listened to WPEO. So I would give myself credit. It was a really good one. If you prayed before you came, you get 5 points. And did you tell anybody that you love them? So I was thinking, if you're unmarried, maybe you would tell Jesus that you love him. If you're married, maybe you would tell your husband. If you're going out with somebody, maybe you would tell your boyfriend. Okay, so raise your hand if you've got 17 points. Well, Naomi. Okay, Mrs. Grass. Okay. Okay. Whoever, if you don't want to get up, I have prizes I'll give. Any Spanish? Okay. Here we go. I think Ethel and okay, so Naomi, catch. Anyone else? Okay, so we have more things that you can win. If you're too embarrassed on this one, you don't have to admit to it, but I think it's something to be proud of. Who is the oldest mother? And we will start with 85 years old. Is anybody 85 or older? Just one? Okay. Okay. That gift is for Joe, the lady that made the salad, that's Grandma Joe salad and shoe pig salad. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of shoe pig salad. Yeah, it was delicious. It has corn and things. It was good. Okay. We're going to give a gift to whoever has the youngest baby that is here. So we'll start at 1-year-old. Okay, so Carrie, how many months? I couldn't hear you. 13 months? And then Okay, here's a gift for, do you want to grab it? Teenager want to grab, you want to grab it for your mom? Okay, this is a good one. Has anyone here adopted children? Anyone else? Who has the most adopted children? I have one. Harry has two. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. So adoption is a wonderful thing. Who has the most boys in their family? It seems like you either have all boys or all girls at times, but some people it's divided. So, anybody here have 3 boys or more? Danelle has 3. Genevie has 4. Is that the winner? You have 7 sons? No, boy. Son. I just meant sons. Sorry. But we could do siblings too. Okay, so Genevie, you want to do me a favor and under the pink table in the back is a whole box. If you'll just bring that to me, I'd appreciate it. I didn't grab enough. Okay, let's see who has the most daughters. If you have 4 daughters or more, raise your hand. 4. How many does your mom have, Danelle? 5? Okay, 2 5s, we'll do that. Okay. Did she need one too? She doesn't have sons, does she? Okay. Now I'm gonna divide this one into 2 categories. I'm gonna find out who came the farthest today, and who was. This is 2 categories. Who was born the farthest away? So today, did anyone come more than 20 miles for this? Okay. So all 4 of you may come up. It's easy. When you have a lady that's almost 70, she lets you come get your gift instead of me running them to you. Sorry. Okay. And then who was born the farthest away? So I know some are from Mexico, born. Some are from maybe Guatemala. Some are from, who knows which place is farther? Philippines, is that farther than Guatemala? How far is Guatemala? Oh, we have 2 from the Philippines. So, okay, both of you. We have enough. Laura Lynn, Philippines. You were born in the Philippines, you get 1. So I'm just curious. Kimberly can help me with this. Does anybody know how far it is to, let's say, well, let's see where the ladies are from. I think is there Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador? Are they all Mexico? Is it farther than Mexico? Okay, so not the daughters that were born here, but the ones that actually were born there, I have gifts for you. So tell them they can come. The ones from Mexico that were born there, not if they were born here. Can you give these to those ladies? 4? So either you're from Mexico, born in Mexico, Nicaragua. 6? Okay, I have 2 more. If you were born in the United States, that's a little different. Okay, so here's a good one. Who got up the earliest today? Anybody get up before 5 a.m.? Okay, so Kira, you got one already, and she got one already. The other lady got up before 5. Anyone else? Okay, come on up. Okay. Okay. We're getting close to the end. Oh. Okay, this is going to put me to shame, but I did a lot of work other than this. Who, raise your hand if you cooked breakfast, like really cooked a breakfast today. Anybody cook breakfast? But you won one, so okay, you can have it. Did these, you ladies are from out of town, right? Iowa? So you may have a gift for coming. All 3 of you. Already? Okay. Now this one, some people wouldn't think you deserve a reward, but some people would. Who drank the most cups of coffee today? You had 2, but you already got a gift. So anybody drink more than 3 cups of coffee today? Did you? And you got a gift already, right? Okay. The next thing we're going to do is sing happy birthday to Lina. It was yesterday, but you know what? She was in the kitchen here, chopping all of the fruits and vegetables. So we're going to do it a cappella. Ready? Lina is our speaker, so. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lina. Happy birthday to you. Now Mrs. Lancaster is going to come and lead us in the song that's on the back of your program.
All right, any other little girls that want to come up that know the song? And even if you don't know the song and you're cute, which you all are, you can come. All right, come along, any little helpers that I've got here. All right. I always like to have helpers. Thanks. Can you hold that for me?
Do you want to?
Oh, come on, Miss Maddie. Thank you. Any other little helpers? Genesis, Zoe, are you going to come help me? birds or not. We've got the birds upon the treetops. They go first. Over here. I'm going to slide this way. You hold the birds. Can you two hold the birds? Together. Need two to hold that one. All right. Then we've got the birds upon the treetops. The angels chant their chorus. Here, Maddie, you help this child right here. Girls, each grab on. Here. Hold on to one side. Hold this. Good job. And then we got the flowers in the garden blend their hue. All right. So we're going to sing it. Girls already know it, so you got to really help me.
The birds upon the treetops sing their song. The angels chant their chorus all day long. The flowers in the garden blend their hue. So why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't you praise Him too?
Well, we have to do it again, all right? Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Ready?
The birds upon the treetops sing their song. The angels chant their chorus all day long. The flowers in the garden blend their hue. So why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't you praise Him too?
Do we have it or do we need to do it one more time? I always learn 3 times. I think we should do it one more time. All right? Ready?
The birds upon the treetops sing their song. The angels chant their chorus all day long. The flowers in the garden blend their hue. So why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't you praise Him too?
Thank you, girls. You were awesome.
So Randy, stay up. And if you want to sit down, it's okay. Stay up. So today we're honoring mothers. And back in March, we submitted Randy Lancaster it was WNBD, Remarkable Woman. And we had some ladies write letters to see if she could win. It was a national prize, and we never heard back, which indicates she might not have won. But to our ladies, she is a remarkable woman. And I wanted to honor her with the things that all the ladies said to her. And I'm not going to read it all because we don't want to keep you too long, but I'm going to read some of them, and then it's a notebook of things that were written for her. So I'm going to start with someone that's not even here. It's her fellow teacher, Diana Lynn. She said, I am writing this letter with great pleasure and excitement to recommend Randy Lancaster for this prestigious award. So you're getting the prestigious award with our group. As I have had a teacher-friend relationship for 25 years, I have had the privilege of closely witnessing her dedication to her students, selfless work in her church. She spends countless hours working with teenagers, teaching a Bible class with 4-year-olds and up to 6th graders, giving flute lessons, singing in the choir, all while teaching full-time. Randy always has a smile and a laugh to share. She always makes you feel better for being around her. Her influence continues in the life of her students well into their adulthood. I firmly believe that Randy Lancaster has the qualities that make her truly a deserving candidate for the Remarkable Woman Award. She embodies the word remarkable. And I agree totally with that. Isn't it true? So I don't know, if you don't come to our church, you wouldn't know that she is in something all the time and serves her husband very kindly, and she is pretty amazing. Now, I'm not going to read my whole thing, but what I said was she's like the Proverbs 31 woman. And I mean, if you went down the line, she stretches out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. I've witnessed that with the way she treats special needs children in her own family. And she girdeth her loins with strength and strengthens her arm. She walks for exercise and all. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. So each one of those things that's in Proverbs, I see in her. Here's a couple cute ones that are short and sweet. From Rhoda Scary, Randi's best qualities include listening, compassion, helping, and understanding. She is always willing to step in when needed. She treats everyone with the same kindness. We have a page here from Anna Karina. We have I'm just going to read one more, and it's from her daughter, Heather, who, it's interesting. Heather, Joshua, Pepsi, Parker, and Porter just could not. I had to make the print really small. They had so many wonderful things to say. But when you think of the love to serve the Lord, that's what I think of Randi is. But this is mother-daughter, so this is from Heather. Randi Lancaster is my favorite person in the whole world. She is my preferred person to receive counsel from, and she always gives sound and godly advice. She is my absolute favorite shopping partner, and she's always up to a shopping trip. She is the very best teacher I know, and she puts her whole heart and soul into everything she does. She embodies the scripture, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. She's an exemplary mother. When I think back to all of the things she took us to as children and the things she took the time to teach us and effort she and my dad put into our musicianship, it's astounding. I think of myself as a mother, and I do not measure up. For a short time in my early married life, I used to think I could try and do better than her. Then I had children of my own and realized I was very mistaken. My mom works and works and works some more. She gets things done. Her life is pleasing to the Lord. I look up to her so much. She is my hero. She is the very best role model I have ever seen. My mom is happy. She makes me smile, and every time we talk or are with each other, we laugh. There are times when circumstances in my life get me down, and I will try to be like her and find joy in the situation or just call her. Laugh out loud. I can't say enough good about her. She is made of gold and set on a pedestal, and I wish I could be near her way more than I get to be. The only solution to that is if they move up here. My mom is godly. She reads the Bible and has a close relationship with the Lord. She can be trusted to be the Christian that she claims to be. Her life and conversation reflect it brightly. I wish I could describe how I feel when I think of my mom or when I finally get to see her after being apart for months. By the way, she lives in Tennessee, if you didn't know that, for months. Or how I feel when we have to go our separate ways again. She's like sunshine, and I can't get enough of being with her. You probably can't tell, but I really love my mom. I also think I'm in for it now because my dad is probably feeling pretty left out. Don't worry, Dad. I have glowing thoughts about you too. Anyway, it's cool. If anybody wants to make another letter, I'm sure she'd be happy to put it in her notebook, but I think there's 24 in there. I don't know how she does it all. So, I don't know where I put my schedule. It's on the piano. Have a duet. Since I already introduced Lina, when we opened, I will just, when they're done singing, you may come right up. And then we have some gifts before you leave. So we'll have a closing prayer, and then we'll distribute the gifts.
I love to sit on Mama's knees when I was just a child. There I learned so many things that carried me through life. She told me about Jesus and how he died for me. She taught me many scriptures I still quote from memory. When I climbed down to run and play, as children always do, she got down on those same knees and prayed till she prayed through. When she bows before the throne, holy angels spread their wings when Mama prays. She knows how to pray. When she lifts her voice to heaven, Mama always takes the time to mention me. I'm so glad she prays for me. Only God knows where I'd be without the battles that were won on Mama's knees. She always keeps her Bible close by her side. Many pages are tear-stained, many verses underlined. She stands upon those promises when she kneels to pray. And when my world falls apart, she helps me keep the faith. I've seen her tears of sorrow for loved ones bound by sin, until they come back to God. She'll be on her knees again. When she bows before the throne, holy angels spread their wings when Mama prays. She knows how to pray. When she lifts her voice to heaven, Mama always takes the time to mention me. I'm so glad she prays for me. Only God knows where I'd be without the battles that were won on Mama's knees. She's a woman of faith, and she shows me how to live. Lord, help me to be
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, okay. Thank you so much for this song. Very nice message. Well, I have to look at my notes. I have to make sure that I'm not rambling. Um, and Randy, congratulations. I'm so blessed. Honestly, I'm so blessed with Randy's steadfastness. I've always told Ken, you know, um, I can't imagine the talents of mothers. Ladies, aren't we special? The Lord made us so special. Here at El Vista, lots of talented ladies, and they are working behind the scene that you could hardly recognize. But if you look, you could see different lady with different talent and how God made them complement each other. But anyway, before now that we're full, so we are special and we have to thank God for that. Thank you so much for the delicious food. And I sincerely appreciate and very grateful that my husband willingly volunteered to be of service today. And to all men who volunteered, thank you. I know they're hiding there. And Pastor Watt, thank you so much. Andrea and Carla, I can't imagine their energy. Thank you. Organizing everything. When I came here, Carla has been cleaning, and she cleaned up everything so Ken and I can work. And she said she was soaping all the table. Thank you, Carla. And if you see those butterflies in the table, very beautiful, neatly done, that's Andrea Shore, Mrs. Shore. Her energy, I can't imagine. And thank you so much, Andrea. Kara, my stepdaughter, she's so busy as a full-time teacher. She's in grad school, she has classes, and she has a very, very active toddler. She squeezed in with her schedule to make the cupcakes for us ladies. Thank you, Kara. I know she went somewhere. It's that nap time for her son. So, but I'm so grateful for that. And Chan, Anna Karina, Carla, they just jumped in. We were working last night in the kitchen, and here comes Anna Karina. Oh, I just came to say hello. Oh, Miss Lina, do you need help? And oh yeah, we need help. She was just chopping, and I can't even keep up how fast she is. And oh, Miss Lina, what's next? What do I need to do? And I said, I don't know what to say. We have to wait for Ken. But how talented is that? And I'm so grateful that there are lots of things that we don't even, I can comprehend. But I'm so grateful that God gave each of us talent that somehow unique to everybody, that if you will look and think about it, all we can do is to glorify God, how it is. So thank you so much. I always thank God. I will go back to my husband. I'm sorry, this is for Mother's Day, but it's because he worked so hard for this. And I am so blessed with Ken, who is very gifted, and I'm proud to say that he is an excellent cook. To be honest, most of the time, I don't even have to do anything. He plans and takes care of everything, and I have to do is to help. And I don't think he will just like, okay, this, and a lot of time I will clean up the mess, but that's okay. It's also a job. And he plans and he takes care of everything. And you see, I came from a very big family. I came from a family of 10 siblings. 7 girls and 3 boys. In our family, we were raised with very distinct chores around the house. Although my mom keeps us on board and making schedule to do household chores, wiping the table, sweep the floor, or whatever, but we were raised with very distinct chores around the house. Although my mom keeps us on board by making a schedule, and so okay, sorry, my 2 older brothers, I'm in the middle of the family. My 2 older brothers have to help dad. They have to do the man task, like lifting or anything, do gardening. But for us girls, my oldest sister was trained to do cleaning. She was given the task to clean the house and given the authority by my mom to, okay, command your sisters or brother to do certain tasks to help you. And that's how she was raised, cleaning the house. My second sister, she was raised to cook. So she's in charge of cooking. That's why we will just help, okay, slice the vegetable. So probably that's why I could slice vegetables and I could do, but so here I am. That's my other older sister, and she commands us to prepare everything, and most of the time clean the mess that she did. But we learned to never complain. My mom said, do your work and don't complain. And so that's how we are. And so here I am. Now that I am in the middle, and my main task is to be a babysitter. So I have to take care of my younger siblings. So it's not that I'm making an excuse, but I did not learn much of cooking until I went to college and I have my place, my own place. So my husband always teases and tell his friends and family, I married a babysitter. I did not marry the cook. So he has to endure. But the Lord is so good in my life. Since I am not a good cook, he gave me a husband who cooks, an expert in doing things around the house. To tell you, Ken is even more meticulous in doing laundry and ironing clothes. I never learned to iron clothes until I got married. Because Ken will say, no, mom does this, you have to do this, and I get offended. And I said, I just keep to myself. Then iron, you do your ironing. But I learned, I learned a lot. And so to tell you, I'm amazed that how God allows husband and wife complement each other in so many ways. But anyway, that's just an introduction. Today, I am honored to speak to all the ladies in commemoration of mothers. I am thankful my mother-in-law, Joanna, is here. She's 90 years old. And the thing is, when Ken told him, Mom, we are hosting for ladies, and she said, I'm making salad. And Ken said, no, Mom, you don't have to. Oh, I have my ingredients, I'll make salad. Joanna, thank you so much. That is very nice of you and very thoughtful. And my sister-in-law, Nancy, is here. Nancy is the oldest among the siblings of Ken, and she always treats Ken little brother, even if Ken is huge and big. Sorry, Ken, but what I mean is, Ken is grown up, so, but anyway. So, and her daughter, Hillary, they drove from Iowa, and thank you for coming. To all of you, thank you for coming. And when Susie asked me when she asked if Ken can help plan for the mother-daughter banquet, and if I can be the speaker of the event, I was so reluctant. Susie, I don't know what to say. I don't know. And here comes Carla, Lina. I don't know if the two of them conspired each other, obviously. They said, Lina, you can just talk whatever you want. Talk about your insects and talk about, well, they know that I work on bugs. And so I prayed, but I told them, I don't know what to say. aside, I know I am not knowledgeable on talking in this kind of event. Honestly, I, I've talked, I've done presentations and some invitational talk in my professional career, but this is my first time to talk in an event, special event in church like this. And I'm honored, but only the Lord knows what I will say. But I prayed about it because I told Susie, how can I relate bugs with Mother's Day? I really don't know. But Susie was so confident that, Lina, it's okay. Talk about bugs. And then here comes Andrea Shore too. Like, yeah, Lina, butterflies and beetles and all this. So I prayed. And I I thought to myself, Lord, just give me wisdom and how I can relate these things because I really don't know. But I prayed about it and I thought I could share a testimony of my life, how I came to know God and how God guided me through and worked in every aspect of my life. That aside from being a wife, a stepmom, and a grandmother of two adorable grandsons, God gave me gifts and talent to glorify Him and a profession that always reminded me the wonder of His creation and how important these creatures to mankind. Certainly, God has a purpose, and as a biologist, and to be more specific, an entomologist, I am in awe of how wonderful God's creation are, allowing me to understand not all, but in part of for His glory. Let us come to the Lord in prayer. Father in heaven, Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity to talk and allowing us to celebrate and remember mothers. The gift and talent you gave to each one of us, mothers and daughters, speak to our hearts that we women can glorify in everything that we do. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I don't really have a particular title. Carla mentioned that because it's more of devotion. I don't know what to say. It's not that I don't know what to say, but I will try as much as possible that what I'm talking will glorify the Lord. And I thought I will share to you the work of God in my life since He saved me, how He guided me through, and allow me to understand His purpose in my life. That if we women or daughter can use, God can use us with the gifts, talent, and opportunities He gave us for His glory. I grew up in a Catholic background. So I was not familiar of the Bible, but just followed the motions of being in a Catholic church. Although we are not really considered a very devoted Catholic of the Catholic religion, but patterns of going to church on Sundays is a family practice and tradition. I don't understand most of the Catholic teachings growing up, but we were taught to obey and follow what my parents tells us. So, and my father and mother always emphasize on us, do what is right. So all along, I thought that doing right is okay, which is really okay. I think of myself, I'm fine. I have not done a bad sin. I have not killed somebody, or I have not been in trouble. I did not rob really like a robber, like intrude the house or something. Although I might be getting some little coins from my mom every now and then if I find it in the bed or in the floor, but that's another story. But self-righteousness is really the big thing for me. I grew up like I'm okay. And since I did not do sins that are really heavy that got me in trouble where I will be jailed or whatever, I'm fine. Although I acknowledge that there is God who is a supreme being, but if I look back and I will really think about it, I really didn't know God. I don't have any relationship with the Lord. But until one day, I was in junior high, and a American single missionary came. If you are here in El Vista, you might have heard it because Pastor Watt have mentioned it a few times that I'm a product of a missionary. And honestly, I have a very special heart for missionaries because I know what their life is in the other side of the world. They will be, or even here in America, America is also a mission field. But I am so blessed to have to have met a missionary that God used me in order to understand who really is God and established a relationship that I know that I can't do nothing without God in my life. So I was in junior high and we lived in a university campus, and her ministry actually is in the mountains far. So, but the administration, university administration, allowed her to come to our school and teach a religious instructions class. Well, generally in the Philippines, probably 85 to 90% are Catholics. It's a very Catholic. It's like some other countries in South America, because we were colonized by Spaniards, and Spaniards really claim that they brought religion to our country. So when this missionary came, she was allowed to teach in our school only during lunchtime, and she could occupy rooms that are vacant. Two students will go home, so she could teach. Well, thankfully, we live farther from the campus, so we carpool, and then lunchtime, we have to bring our lunch. So I get the opportunity to see that missionary. And I was so curious, me and my sister who turned out to be a full-time missionary. She went to a medical missions, and then she turned out to be a missionary. And so, but anyway, I listened to the first lesson in her religious instruction. I know Bible. Oh no, I don't know Bible. I know that there is a Bible, but I really don't know. I have not held any Bible. I haven't read anything, and I don't know what. And then I realized that in Catholic Mass, there's a Salmo responsorio, like Psalms, like they will quote the verses. I didn't even know that those are verses. But because I was not exposed to those kind of things. And all we have to do is to just follow what we have to, our parents. But anyway, she gave a lesson on the book of John. And after the first meeting, she what really caught me was that at the end of the lesson, she gave an invitation and emphasizing that we cannot go to heaven by being good through our religion or being baptized. And she emphasized that I'm not here to be like a religion, like convince you, because that's always the case. Like people will say, oh, this person is convincing me to go to their. She said, I am not. I'm telling you about Christ. And so she said that believing that Jesus Christ died for our sins, you believe, then you will have relationship with the Lord and you could go to heaven. And she said, she then quoted John 1:12 that says, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. And I was really puzzled. And I didn't realize that the Lord was really working in my heart. And then she said, because I was thinking, well, I'm not sinful. I'm not that bad, like really that sinful, because I haven't been in jail. I didn't kill. Remember my old. So, but then she said, Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and come short the glory of God, and that we have a sinful nature. And so at the end of the lesson, I talked with her, what is sinful nature? And so she explained to me, and she, bless her heart, she passed away like 3 years ago due to cancer. But she really discipled me until I get to college and left our province to study. But she worked with me, and she really explained to me that I will understand what really God is and how I could have like to follow God, and that I will enjoy the blessings in life if I have God in my life, that I will appreciate more, that I will understand what really life is. And so, and then she told me that that we have a sinful nature, and then she said, Lina, our religion can't save you, or these things can't do anything from you by doing with work. And then she said, the Ephesians 2:8 and 9, for by grace are you saved through faith. It is not, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. And I said, oh, that retained in my mind. And then she added what is written in Titus 3:5, that said, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy, he saved us. And he said, Lina, it's God's grace and mercy that you really will recognize him as your Lord and Savior. All you have to do is to believe. And then she said, when we die, there's only two ways where our soul will go and the destiny where we are going, hell and heaven. And I said, well, I want to go to heaven. Who would want to go to hell? Nobody. I mean, I was so scared. But anyway, these were the verses from the Bible that she quoted that opened my eyes and mind. Then she said, there are only two ways that I've said. And then she said, but you know the good story? The Bible tells us that we can go to heaven. She said, she opened the Bible, and she read to me 1 John 5:12. He said, he that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son hath not life. And after that class, I made professions of faith. And since then, well, I came from a big family. We talk a lot. So I came home. We just told my mom and dad, oh, you know, there's a missionary, blah, blah, blah. And she said this and this and this. Well, I did not realize that threatened my mom. And so she tried to prevent us from going there because she thinks that we are being convinced on going to. So she started asking, what church are this? What is her religion? And I said, I don't know. Well, the missionary did not know that I go to a Baptist church or I go to. She said, we are talking on Christ. And then finally she said, I go to a Baptist church, but religion cannot save you. It's your relationship with the Lord. And so when she has been working with me, the following week, I accepted Christ as my Savior. And she was so happy. I was so diligent. And because she said, okay, if you memorize and do this, you can have a Bible. Well, I had a perfect attendance at the end of the year. I had a perfect attendance and memorized all the verses. So I got the Bible, and she said, you know, you're so faithful with your sister, because out of the probably more than 50 children that came at the end of the school year, only 3 of us remained. And when I talked with her 10 years after, she said, Lina, I come to look back, and you know those there were only 3 that were left in our class that were really faithful, but I am so happy that you continued in the Lord. And then she said, I didn't even realize that my other sister turned out to be a full-time missionary. And she said, I am so happy of how God worked in your life. But anyway, so she gave me a Bible and then a free ticket for a Bible camp. And so me and my sister were able to go now. Before that, my problem was, I don't know if we will be permitted because my mom was very defensive. I don't know. God works in so like miraculous way. My father gave us the permission. My father said, yeah, go. It's fine. And so my mom can't do anything. You know, in a family sometimes, the dad will say, this is, yeah, okay. Mom can't do anything, right? Mom will just like, okay. So even my mom's heart is heavy. She complied. And so we got there, and it's in the camp where I surrendered my life. And I know that since the Lord opened my heart and mind, my views in life changed. And I decided to follow Jesus, although I know I'm not perfect, but in my heart, I know that He will lead me. And sorry, I want to be faithful. That's really what I remember. I want to be faithful. But I know that I'm not faithful all the time, but that's my desire in my heart, that I want to be faithful. And these are the verses. When I got saved, I started reading the Bible, and every word that I read, just like oh, what is this? Just God just speaks to me word for word. And this is really what the verses that I held to my heart all these years. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. And the Lord is true in everything. That if I look back, never did the Lord fail me. I told some of the ladies here that are, close, I've shared to them that I love taking notes, and I love journals. And when I got saved, my burden was really my family. How to share, because I know my mom and dad, I don't know if, it seems like impossible. My mom is very, very little, very, very, defensive. But, so I jotted all my prayers. I have list about what I want to pray. Salvation, my family, this. And then, as they were answered, I'll put the date when they are answered. And then, I left home. I left my journal at home. I'm already here. I went home for vacation. My brother told me, Lina, we're cleaning your room. We found this box, and there is this notebook that I put a lock. I locked it. It's my journal, my diary. And I told my brother, oh, yeah, because it came back to my mind. And I have my daily activities. I have notes of like what I did. And I found a page where that prayers and the date I started praying, and when I listed, and when it was answered. I am amazed because everything was answered except two. And I looked, why was this not answered? Well, my motive was wrong. I have a selfish motive on that prayer item that I jotted. And the most important thing that really worked in my heart is I prayed for my parents to be saved. And it seems like so impossible. And I found out 10 years of prayers, my mom and dad got saved. And it's in the date. But anyway, those are just the things that how God worked in our life. That a lot of times we don't even think that it's answered, or we take for granted. But the Lord is working. And it's really important for us to reflect and look back what God has done and is doing in our life. But anyway, so that's just a thing. And another verse that really I hold dear to my heart is Psalm 73:26. says, my flesh and my heart faileth, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. And that is a very nice verse. Verse 28 says, but it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord God, that I declare all my works. And so, going back, it took a while for for me to get baptized because my parents did not allow me. But the missionary told me, Lina, obey your parents because the Lord will honor you. So a lot of those impossible things that I thought would never happen, it's because I obeyed my parents. The Lord worked it out. It might not be like just a year. Imagine, it took 10 years for my parents to believe and had relationship with the Lord. It's not impossible. But I could see every aspect of my life, how merciful and faithful the Lord is, was, and is now. So this is what happened. I got baptized, and then I always remember the Lord, the missionary who told me, she always emphasized, the Lord will honor your heart. Continue to pray. Don't, if your parent will say, do this, and it's okay. The Lord knows your heart. So sometimes I feel like, oh, like your heart is so heavy because you know that it's not good. But just obey your parents. Just obey. And that's in the commandment, right? In 10 commandments that you to obey your parents, that you will live longer here in earth. I'm not quoting it like word for word, but that's the idea. But it's a promise of the Lord. And so God answered my prayers, and so many things I can tell his faithfulness, not only to me, but to my family as well. By God's grace, we got all saved. And that's number one. Now, how did I get to this field of science? My father, he is a plant breeder in the field of agriculture. He works for corn and tomatoes. So he's like into tomato hybridization or something. So he talks a lot about agriculture. Well, I came from a big family. He values education a lot. He always tells us education is the key. I wanted you all to be educated because he said, that's the only thing that I can leave you guys. I am not rich. We don't have money. I don't have a big inheritance for you to get. The only thing that I can give you is education. Like I can support. I will work hard to support you with your education. Then I thought this was the time when my mom and dad are not saved yet. And so I thought to myself, well, maybe how can I convince my mom and dad? And I thought, well, maybe I will just work so hard and I will really study hard that my mom and dad can see the difference. And it's true. The missionary advised me, you can still serve the Lord, because I was insisting I should go to a Christian school. Or maybe I will just go to a Christian school because, sometimes it's hard with the secular school. But anyway, the missionary advised me that you can still serve the Lord even if you are in a secular university. It's okay. The Lord will guide you. And so that's what happened. She said that in everything, do your best, and the Lord will bless you, and do the rest. And it is really true. So my parents, as I said, they value education so much. And I prayed, and I thought I will try to do my very best. And you know what? My sister ahead of me, she was in med school. And in the Philippines, parents, it's not like here in the US where there are opportunities. Very seldom that you get a academic scholarship. It's very highly competitive. Or otherwise, your parents have to really pay your education. And it's expensive. But anyway, well, I'm in the middle. Most of my siblings are in college. I want to be a dentist. But then my sister ahead of me, she's in med school. There's only 2 years, 2 years. I had 2 years of me. There is no way my dad can pay dentistry, taking like me in a dentistry school while my sister is in med school. So I prayed, and I thought, well, I will. And I told my dad, it's okay. I will just maybe I'll just take biology because I'm hoping that when I graduated, my sister will graduate with med school. Then I could also do my dentistry. But the Lord did not lead me to that one. So I became a biologist. And then my dad brings me to a place in his office, and then I saw butterflies. I saw nice insects, and I told, what is that? And who did that? And my dad said, my boss is an entomologist. I said, what's entomologist? Study of insects. And so my dad explained, do you know what the study of insects? It's not just like seeing the beauty of butterflies. That's just one way, or seeing the beauty of all these other insects. But didn't you know that insects are the ones that destroys plants? They'll eat plants. And he said, that's what I'm working on. And I said, okay, I will just be an entomologist. And so that's where I became an entomologist. So when I get to college, she allowed me to, I thought to myself, I will really do my best that my dad will be impressed. Because if he will be impressed, my mom and dad, then they will see the difference. So you know what? God is so faithful. When I get to college, he allowed me to excel. I'm outlining how God, I don't think, I'm not boasting. I don't know. It's just that until now, I'm more than 50. I can't understand how God worked in my life. That because I know my capability and my capacity. Honestly, among our siblings, I'm not the competitive one, and I don't excel like them. But you know, I am amazed to myself because when I look back, when I get to college, God allowed me to excel with full academic scholarship. That impressed my father. He never expected it because among us, I am not the smartest. I'm not smart compared to my other sisters and brothers. Among my siblings, even me myself, I can't believe how God did it. I just did my best, and God did the rest. It reminded me of Ecclesiastes 9:10, verse 9:10. Okay, I'll read it to you. So in Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 10, it says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So the Lord promised that if we will really we'll do things with all our might, do your best. And so that's what reminded me. And so, but it never ended there. Before I got my degree in college, I got a job right away. And my job was in research. And that's where the first time where I was exposed to really working on insects. And then the nice thing too was when I worked 1 year after, my boss said, Lina, there is a scholarship to do your master's and you have to take it. And it's free too. So my mom and dad doesn't even have to spend a single centavo. And so I went to get my master's degree. And a year after, I got no, 2 years after I finished my master's, and so I went back to work. And I worked in a rice research institute. So my dad was so happy because he partly worked on research on rice, and so we have there's common things that we can discuss, and he's so happy about it. But anyway, I finished my master's, and I got a master's in entomology, and it covered everything that that me and my parents were so happy about it. And I worked, and 2 years after, the director of the research institute told me, Lina, submit your resume, put all your experiences there, because I wanted you to apply for a Fulbright scholarship. And I said, oh, Fulbright. I know in the Philippines, well, it's an American scholarship. And I know that I knew few that have Fulbright scholarship, that they are really brilliant. They're really good. They graduate, so I was wondering, well, okay, my boss told me to apply, and so I applied. Little did I know that 7 months after my application, I got a receipt from international IIE, international education here in the US, that takes Fulbright and Rockefeller scholarship program. And they told me that I'm one of the finalists, and there are only 10 of us in the country that will get the scholarship. And I said, huh? So I told my father, and my father said, oh, that's good. So do or whatever they said, oh, you have to communicate this. That time I met Ken. And so I told Ken, well, we never dated yet. And Ken said, oh, I could pay for the university for your entrance exam, so it would be fast, like your admission or whatever. So I applied to 10 universities. And you know what? I got accepted in the 10 university, which I never expected. So I applied in Cornell, I applied in University of Washington, and I applied in University of Iowa, but the fastest was in University of Minnesota. So that's why I ended up having my degree in University of Minnesota. After that, well, I got married. So I went home to the Philippines, and then I came back here. And I married Ken. And when Ken moved here in Illinois, and then he said, I thought to myself, oh no, where will I go? I don't know anything here in Illinois because I know it's medical and industrial fields here. But anyway, I was presenting one time in Alaska, and I met a researcher from USDA. And he said, you have your nameplate here, and where are you from? I said, Peoria. And we are in the same table. And he said, Peoria. I said, oh, my fiance is in Peoria. Oh, where did you work? In Caterpillar. And he said, you should come and visit my lab. And that's where I got into the USDA. So now, to make story short, I'm sorry, I know it took so long. I worked with ticks and mosquitoes. So a lot of people will say, why ticks and mosquitoes? But before this, I know that science, and when you are saved, a lot of people will say, well, science, a lot of people, they believe on their knowledge and they believe on those things. But what can I tell you is, if you are saved and you have God in your life and putting you as a researcher, honestly, I could tell that I appreciate more of science. Like, science is a field where you could really see the wonders that God made. The insects, the behavior of insects. Well, I work on the most deadliest insect in the world. mosquitoes gives you malaria, gives you dengue fever, and all these diseases. Ticks, Lyme disease, Powassan virus, and then a lot of times they think that, oh, I have arthritis, but actually you have Lyme disease that are mostly misdiagnosed by the doctor. But anyway, it's amazing how God blessed me to see all those things. And so now I worked on those. And what amazes me is God gave these insects, like insects, they're just like people in some ways. Well, they have their behavior. You know the mother insect? They know how to protect their young. I'll show you some of the. I just had 2 slides to show, just to let you know that a lot of us, if you are not like into it, would even consider that, oh, they're bad, or oh, they're good, or whatever, they're cute. They can be so cute, but they're very destructive. But they can also be very nice. Some species. So So this is what I study. But a lot of people are like, this is like, but the Lord allowed me to understand. If you look at that on the extreme right, a left to the side, that's mosquito. And like they eat blood or but you know what? Did you know that the mosquitoes is only the female that drinks our blood because they need it for laying their eggs. That's amazing, right? And then that is a hungry tick that is unfed. But once they got your blood, it will be like 100 times bigger. If you look at that little tiny, it's hard to see, but those are like less than a millimeter. Very, very tiny. But then when they are engorged, they're blood fed, they get like doubled. Yes? Nectar. They drink nectar, and that's how. Even with the males, the male tick also, they just utilize their own, like what they have, but it's the female that always that bites. But anyway, I'm just showing you that these creatures that God made, that we tend to ignore or we're terrified, God had a purpose. But see, if you're familiar with basic science, when you are like elementary and high school, you do food chains, right? Like, okay, the tick is eaten by a frog will be eaten by, to have their energy and nutrient, like chain. That's how it is. The purpose, as far as I understand, the purpose why God made mosquito, aside from, well, they are destructive because they could cause disease, but they are also food of other animals. Fishes eat mosquitoes. Frogs can eat thousands and thousands of mosquitoes. So God made them to be eaten by other organisms. Unfortunately, they can cause disease on us because they eat blood from those like scavengers, like squirrels, and they get the bacteria and then they eat it and then they transfer to human. So that's how it is. But if you think of the food chain, God made them with a purpose, the ticks. And so, but I used to work with the friendly insects. I work with a pest of rice. And if you see that an egg mass, so egg mass is like group of eggs, and then the larvae they kill the plant because they stay on inside the phloem, inside the stem, and then they pupate there, eventually killing the plant, and then they emerge into adult, and then the adult will lay eggs again, but they're very destructive. But didn't you know that these eggs of the destructive one, there are what they call as parasitoid. They parasite, they lay egg on the egg, and so the larva cannot emerge into its kind, the babies, because the egg of the parasitoid, like a wasp, will kill them while inside the embryo. Who would have thought that God would allow me to look onto that and see that, oh, this is wonderful? That there are lots of tiny, tiny insects. Do you know that those insects there that are in the mass, they are like less than a millimeter in size. And even those tiny organisms, the Lord have purpose. Why they are. They can be destructive, they can be so they call it natural enemies. So I'm just telling you briefly, that is my work. And I found it so wonderful. And I'm so grateful that the Lord gave me the opportunity. And who would have thought that I never, in the world, I never expect that God would lead me to this kind of job. But I am so grateful that the Lord allowed me to admire and witness this creation of the Lord that have affected us. They could make us sick, and somehow, hopefully, I could be a help. I know, but only the Lord knows. But as far as I know, the greatest blessing in my life is the Lord put it in order. And I'm now old, but the Lord gave me a profession that it's hard to understand sometimes, even me myself, but God allowed me to understand that He made it with a purpose. And thank you so much.
I remember when I talked with Lina about some of her studies, and she was looking for a way to eradicate mosquitoes with something out of nature that would not be harmful to humans. And I don't know the end result of that, but as she was telling me, it was so interesting that that was a very important thing for us because of the diseases and all that can come, and finding something that would be in nature that wouldn't hurt humans. I just thought was wonderful. When she gave her testimony about being saved, I thought, I wonder if we have any visitors here that have never come to know the Lord in that personal relationship, as Lina was talking about. Some of us have been raised in the church, some of us have not. And so I just thought I would make an open invitation to anyone that is here that would like to know more about how to receive Jesus. She gave the gospel so clearly. Come to me or Lina or any of the ladies that you know in the Spanish ministry. And it's eternity. If we know the Lord, we'll have a home in heaven someday. And as she said, she didn't realize some go to hell, some go to heaven, and it's a very important thing that we look at. So we have one thing left besides I'll say a closing prayer, and I believe some teenagers were going to distribute roses to the mothers, and then I think it was Shyla, Miley, and Evanly maybe, and so they came down yesterday and helped us tie the bows from school. They're right up front here. And that's a gift for mothers. And then everyone is welcome to get It's one apiece. There are journals on the back table that are gifts for the adults, or the adult can share them with their children, but those are also available. So I think we've taken care.